Hello everybody, it's Mecha Draco again, coming live to you with Scrap Mechanic once again, episode 2. So the very first thing we did under episode 1 was we introduced the concept of creating a rear wheel steering is effectively the idea. Something that I haven't seen in a lot of builds, and I still haven't seen in a lot of builds, and it just sort of confuses me. And I'm not really entirely sure why, but, I went on ahead and created that, and I wanted to, go into a little bit more detail as to exactly how you do rear wheel steering. Sorry about that. So rear wheel steering in this game is very, very simple, very, very simplistic. It's not hard at all, not even a little bit. We're gonna keep this pretty simple, and you know what? We want to erase that here. We're gonna keep this pretty simple though. Not gonna do any too hard, because I have something else I want to show you guys as well. Let me see here. All right, so when it comes to rear wheel steering, all you really need is to make sure you basically make 2 steering columns, one in the rear, one in the front. If you've watched anything on this game at all, you pretty much know how to make a steering column. So let's just start off by introducing the steering column, if that is in case you don't know how to actually do that yet. All right, so we have our steering. We're going to start off here. And we are going to need to get some pistons, or not pistons, I'm sorry, bearings. Alright, so, obviously, in order to get the wheel to move, you just need one bearing, and then you power that bearing with, like, a generator or something like that. Like with this one, you have the power generator here. But you just basically need, all you basically need is just one bearing. Now, that is just in order to get the thing moved. Now, to actually add the steering column, you are going to need to add a bearing on the bottom, so this way it has the ability to steer. So like, let's see here. All right, so we're going to keep it simple, so we're just going to be like, whatever, and let's link that up. And now, in order to actually make sure that this bearing actually steers, you would need to link that up with this. Now, something to remember is that these always rotate in the opposite direction in which you would do it. So like, when I use the steering here, or when I use this steering here, when I go left, it goes right. When I go right, it goes left. So, as you can see in the back here, it actually, doesn't do exactly as it's supposed to. So, but that's actually what you're wanting to do since it is in the rear. Now, let's go to the... Now, but basically, that is how you effectively make a simple steering column. Now, you'd obviously put the bearing here and then a wheel or whatever you want there to make it run. Now, in order to do the rear wheel steering and to have the combination steering, is you basically do the same thing in the front and the back, and you leave this as is. You do not rotate these back so that they actually point in the right direction, but in the front you do, so that way you're actually steering in the right direction. Now, this way, when in the rear, it's steering, and we can look at this one a little bit more closely. So this way, when you look at this, you can see here, when I steer to the right, the 2 wheels in the back turn to the opposite direction of the direction of the wheels in the front. Now, you want this because this allows the vehicle to actually steer the vehicle in a more precise circle, and that allows you to actually steer the vehicle in a much more precise little circle here, as you can see. So that's something you actually absolutely want to make sure you have, just to make sure these are actually rotated properly. Now, I realize that it's a very simplistic design. It's a very simplistic thing to do, but just in case anybody was having some issues with it or not understanding what I was doing with it, then we have this here for a good example for everyone to see. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys today is actually a little bit more than just basically another steering thing. I actually wanted to go into something a little bit more complicated, which is actually a hover design that I've been coming up with as well. As you can see off in the corner, you might have been seeing that there was something else built up here, but let's take a little bit of a closer look. Alright, so here is the monstrosity that I have made so far with my hover thing. Now, it works, but I have a concept for it that's a lot more simplistic, a lot far easier to use than what I currently have. However, as is, it does have a little bit of a tendency to work. Now, as you can see, I have buttons here. 1 through 4 are the directional buttons, and then I have a 5th button, which is the switch that turns the hover on. So you have the switch, turns it on, and then we go forward. Now, I want it to be more on the lines of I didn't want it to be hovering way up in the air or actually be hovering way off the ground. I just wanted it to be hovering a little bit off the ground. So this is why I designed it like this. Now, unfortunately, it can't really go over terrain very well. So, like, for example, if I take this off this hill, it's probably going to flip. So let's just test that out. Ooh, that's surprising. I'm a little surprised on that. Now, obviously, I haven't added in any directional, like, facing things yet, and I will be adding those later. And as you can see, it's still not the most perfected thing. And I actually have an idea as to help make the hover a little bit more stable. Right now, I just have it on a button. I just have it on a switch where I turn it on and turn it off. I've seen people do... Oh, no. Okay, but yeah, I have seen people do... Oh no! Okay, but yeah, I have seen people use, what are these things here? Sensors, yeah. I have seen people use sensors for this design, or not for this specific design, but for hover vehicles, and I have been considering adding in those, and I do think that it would probably be a good idea in the long run for me to do that. Because what I think I could do with it is I could add like some right here, like right here or right here, and so on and so forth, and make it so that these continue to go as long as that particular side isn't being recognized, or if it is recognized. I can't really remember exactly how it is, but basically it turns itself off when it starts to actually push too high. Like, I think the idea would be is you would want to connect them like this. Okay, but these are connected to that button over there, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to unconnect something. That's one of those things I've never been able to really quite figure out, is how to unconnect something. I always thought you could just, do this, but apparently that doesn't work. No. Anyways, but yeah, the idea would be is that you'd have those, like, these connected up to this one, you'd have another one here, another one here, another one here, and then you have all of those connected, so that as you fly around, you would just basically hover. Basically, you would just basically hover, and it would just turn itself on and off as needed. Don't flip. Let's not flip. Okay. But yeah, but that's the idea, and obviously I want to add in some directional directional switches to make it so that, like, if I hit a button, it'll make it turn, so that I can actually make this thing turn in a direction. That way I'll have less switches in general. But yeah, that's the general concept behind this so far. As you can see, it does actually hover really, really well, surprisingly, especially on flatter land and everything like this. And I can even go over some terrain, not a lot, but some. And if I ever need to correct myself, I can just turn the thing off real quick. It's definitely a rough concept, but yeah. Now, in case you were wondering, though, as you can clearly see, there is a lot of wiring going on here. So to help explain this a little bit better, there is a control box right here up underneath all of this. You can't really see it because I did build it up underneath that. It has it set so all to these little bearings right here, and I have them set so that they are automatically set at a 45 degree. I'm pretty sure it's 45 degree angle. Yeah, it's a 45 degree angle. Sorry, I can just erase this real quick. Yeah, 45 degree angle. Yeah, so yeah, 45 degree angle on all of these, so that they are permanently stuck in that 45 degree angle and are thrusting downwards. Now, I tried to use the heavier material like the metal to help stabilize it a little better. And as you can see, that does work, because it does lift it off just enough off the air to where that it can actually gain some push if we use one of these other directions. Like if we use these, we can, as you can see. But yeah, it does give it enough lift so that it actually, so that I can actually sit here and thrust myself forward and wrap back and everything like that. Now, it's just a concept right now, and I have other ideas for it, and I want to improve on the idea, obviously. But yeah, definitely think this is definitely definitely think it's getting there. It's definitely got an idea. And if anybody wants to take this and maybe like use it on one of their builds, like, you know, use this design on one of their hover builds, please, by all means, I'd be happy to see other people use this information. I'm not really that creative. I'm not gonna lie. I try to be creative, but sometimes my stuff doesn't come out all that fantastic. But this is definitely, in my opinion, I'm much more of a concept builder in this particular situation than I am anything else, and this is just like a really proof of concept that hover can in fact work. You just have to come at it from a different direction than what I've been seeing a lot of people coming at it as. You know, that's probably my biggest thing. Is I've been seeing a lot of people come at hover as just like straight down jets, and I just noticed that it just doesn't really work. It just does not work at all. But yeah. Anyways. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it for you, and you know, of course, as normal, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, favorite, and you know, everything. Spread the word, my fellow gamers, and of course, you know, tune in for the next video, because this will definitely be another video coming up soon. I do apologize I didn't come out with this one sooner. XCOM came out, and I'm sorry, XCOM 2. I had to keep playing it. I just kept playing until I was done. But yeah, this one's definitely going to be a regular video, so please, by all means, you know, stay tuned for more. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, favorite, everything like that. And remember, guys, good luck out there, and don't forget to have fun. Wednesday too, I keep thinking about you, and I can't get you out of my